I want to read you some news that broke just when we were getting ready to come back out of our break. Senator Mitch McConnell is now pro-impeachment, saying this in the New York Times. Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader, has told associates he believes President Trump committed impeachable offenses and is pleased that Democrats are moving to impeach him, believing that it will make it easier to purge him from the party. That's according to people familiar with his thinking. Does that help you get some Republicans on board that Mitch McConnell thinks it's a good idea to purge Trump from the Republican Party?
Shame on Mitch McConnell. What Mitch McConnell should do is call the Senate back to the Capitol to prepare to receive the articles of impeachment that we will send over. They should prepare for a speedy trial and absolutely excise this cancer from our country, let alone a party. This isn't about a party. This isn't about politics. This is about protection of our Constitution, of our rule of law. This man is an infection, deadly infection, and Mitch McConnell and others, shame on them.
Congresswoman, do you feel like the vote on impeachment will be bipartisan?
We have word that it will be. You saw overwhelming numbers of Democrats who are original co-sponsors. I'm one too. And we have word of at least an important handful of Republicans. So the measure will definitely pass. But this is a moment. This is a reckoning for the Republican members of the House to say, where was I at this time in our history when our Capitol was attacked, when a riotous mob incited by the president, incited by his lies and those around him who have lied for months and years, came in search of assassinating the speaker, hanging the vice president, hunting down members of Congress. These folks need to figure out, do they believe in their sworn oath of office? If not, resign.
Do you think that the calls from Republicans outside of the chamber, Chris Christie said that if insurrection isn't an impeachable offense, it's hard to name one that would be. Mitch McConnell saying that purging Trump from the party is appropriate now. I'm in your camp. You know, where were you when he saw good people on both sides of Charlottesville and when he was telling the lie that would lead to its obvious conclusion, the rage that spilled into violence? But are these calls at this point better than nothing? Are they helpful or are they meaningless?
They're weak, they're feckless, they're an attempt to try to rebuild a shattered, absolutely shattered set of reputations, but their reputations are destroyed, forever destroyed. Franklin said its reputations are like pottery. Once you break it, it's hard to put it back together. So they're just weak attempts at trying to restore themselves. Everything that they have done, the lies that they promoted on behalf of this president that radicalized this group of people into attacking their own country, they are responsible for that. They should be held responsible for that.
And I know Wednesday was a day so traumatic and shocking that everyone is still processing it. But if the mob didn't represent a grave enough threat, Republican members, many of them refused to wear masks. And now there is a proposal to have a fine for members that don't wear masks. Can you talk about, I mean, at some level, it's shocking that that's necessary, that leaders refuse to lead. But is this something at this point that's a simple necessity to protect your members?
Honest to God, could you imagine we're coming down to fines for these clowns? I was in that room. Excuse me. Pardon me. I was in that room. We were shocked at the selfishness, the political division that has nothing to do with a pandemic. We were literally in a secure location for 4 hours, a closed room. And they were asked, the House physician was in the room with us. They were asked to put on masks. And instead they scoffed. That is such a reflection on them. And of course, now we have at least 3 members infected. Where this film's being shot is exactly where I was standing with Susan Wild, exactly where I was. And these guys are so self-centered. I thought being in politics and serving others was actually about somebody other than me. This nonsense with the mask, which is ultimately deadly, is based in ignorance and selfishness, and I don't know if a fine meets the moment.
I want to ask you about your state. A lot of Donald Trump's lies, which were echoed and amplified by the likes of Rudy Giuliani and the folks that traveled around with him masquerading as a legal team, were focused on what happened in your state. And I just want to put you on the spot and ask you if you feel safe.
No, I don't. No.
So how do we protect you?
I was on the secure call last night, the briefing last night about security, and I want to really lift up. We heard from the acting chief of the Capitol Police. We heard from the assistant acting chief. We heard from the acting sergeant at arms. I want to lift them up and their members who did their duty against all odds. They were outmanned. And you have to know, inside, we didn't see that. I didn't see television for hours. We didn't realize how outmanned they were. So I want to lift them up. But do I feel safe? No. We have a new day. I know that people of goodwill and all the agencies, the Secret Service, the National Guard, the Metropolitan Police, the Capitol Police, are doing everything in their power to make sure we are safe. But Wednesday did not have to happen. And we have to get to the bottom of why it happened. Number one, it's the infectious lies. As you point out, Donald Trump is an infection, and impeachment will take out that host of that infection. The Senate needs to convict, so the host is fully taken out. And then we have to look at who were the other hosts that spewed lies, that radicalized people to attack their Congress.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.